Welcome to the NCAA Softball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. Welcome to Austin, Texas, a do-or-die game for the defending national champs as the second seed and Longhorns have to fight for their postseason lives against Arizona State. The Sun Devils, Game 1 winners yesterday, can punch their ticket to Oklahoma City with a victory tonight. And Kenzie Brown led the way. The All-American from a year ago struck out 10 Longhorns, including the final 5. Her battery mate Samantha Swan drove in 3. An emotional night for Arizona State, with number 10 leading them to their 10th consecutive win. We already have seen Oklahoma and Florida force Game 3s. This is half of the Super Regional bracket. Tennessee has advanced to Oklahoma City. Nebraska on the other side swept Oklahoma State. And just minutes ago, Arkansas finished off Duke. Alabama trying to do the same thing, as is UCLA tonight. But we have a big story here this evening. Kevin Brown, two-time All-American, Amanda Scarborough. And that story is Arizona State trying to make OKC as an unseeded team, and the defending champion Longhorns once again fighting for their lives.
Well, it seems like Texas in the past few years play their best with their back up against the wall. They're used to being in this position. Last year in Super Regionals on that national championship run, and their Super against Clemson, they were 60 feet away from a Clemson run scoring and then being eliminated, and they went on to win it all. They show that Texas fight, and they're used to being in this position.
They have been the team that's played the best when they've been caged. Mike White, no big deal losing Game 1. It is a big deal, though, for Arizona State to win Game 1. They're the house money team right now, the hottest team besides Nebraska in the country.
They are the hottest team in the tournament, and they're playing with so much confidence, and they've been on this 10-game win streak all on the road in their last Big 12 series. They grabbed momentum offensively, took it right into the Big 12 tournament to Oklahoma City, where they were the Big 12 tournament champs, and then that momentum carried on to College Station, where they took down the number 15 national seed. That offense did not slow down. They have been crushing the ball, and Kenzie Brown has been an all-star in the circle, a 1.29 ERA and 6-0 on that 10-game win streak.
Outscoring teams at averages 7-2, and again, none of those games in Tempe. They're not going to start Kenzie Brown tonight. They'll try to win Game 2 without her starting, at least, with Mika Lupi getting the start. Texas will turn to Tegan Cavan, who started yesterday, and look, nobody wants to be down 1-0. Except maybe Mike White does like being down 1-0. 3 of the last 4 years, his teams have lost Game 1 of the Supers, and not only rallied to win the Super, they've made it all the way to the National Championship Series, which they won last year, their first national championship ever. The Longhorns trying to avoid being the first defending champ in 7 years to not make Oklahoma City. Arizona State is on the verge. First pitch, Horns and Sun Devils, next. The two big boppers for the Texas Longhorns. Reese Atwood in what could be the final game of her historic Texas career. She's hit 18 home runs this year, 73 career, the Texas record, a record that might only last for 1 year at this rate. Katie Stewart among the national leaders with 27. Those two were held to an 0 for 6 day yesterday. They are the highlights of our Capital One starting lineup for Texas. Kaya Altmaier moves into the lineup. Mike White shuffles the bottom three, keeps the same top six for the Longhorns at 45-11, the number 2 national seed. And the junior Mika Lupi is in the circle for the biggest start of her career. Game 2, Texas and Arizona State. Ball 1 to start it at 7:05 local. The junior from California, Lupi, Amanda, will try to pitch Arizona State to the World Series.
Yeah, and Lupi has been a formidable number 2 behind the All-American Kenzie Brown. Saw her pitch in the College Station Regional as well as the Big 12 tournament, and they've relied on her. She's gotten better just like Kenzie Brown has gotten better as the year has gone on, and a lot of confidence in her to see what she's got at least one time through the order against Texas, potentially bringing Kenzie Brown in a close game or if they have the lead later.
2-0 for Henry. It takes one, a little down and in according to the plate umpire Matt Dial, as we'll feel the strike zone out early. This is already a big deal because Texas only had 1 walk and 2 3-ball counts in the game against Kenzie Brown last night. And this game begins with a 4-pitch walk. Well, Mike White's team couldn't stop swinging yesterday, and Caden Henry doesn't start swinging today at any of the first 4 pitches.
I think we're going to see a very patient Texas team. Yesterday in the game against Kenzie Brown, they swung at 58% of the first pitches that they saw as a season high. They were very aggressive, made it easier on her at times.
And Katie Stewart does not swing at the first pitch she sees. The junior from Frankfort, Illinois, saw just 7 pitches yesterday off of a massive regional round, including a home run that hit the East Campus Graduate Apartments in left field. 5 straight balls for Lupi, who is up and out of the zone here. And her catcher, Sam Swan, will jog out to the circle.
Lupi can bring it with good velocity, 68 to 70 miles an hour. She's going to be more down in the zone than what Texas saw from Kenzie Brown yesterday, although Kenzie Brown threw a lot of changeups and drops to them. She also has the rise to go along with it, but Lupi's go-to pitches are going to be her curveball that she throws the most, as well as her drop ball. And because she stays more down in the zone, it forces a lot of ground balls to her infield, so defense is going to need to be sharp behind her today.
There's Brown, yesterday's starter. Will she be part of the proceedings tonight? 2-0 for Stewart. In the dirt, skips away from Swan, a wild pitch. Henry to second base on a game that is unraveling early for Mika Lupi.
Well, it's a tough position to be in if you're Lupi, because I'm sure the nerves are flowing. You're 1 win away, potentially 7 innings or 5 innings away from going to the Women's College World Series, and you are going to face a team in Texas that is going to be so patient to start out this game. Going back to what they looked like yesterday, you know they watched the film, had the conversations about how aggressive they were, getting themselves out a lot, chasing a lot. You're going to see a very experienced Texas team make adjustments early in this game against Lupi and put a lot of pressure on her to bring one over the plate.
The SEC Player of the Year, hitting .622 ahead in the count. Stewart with a ground ball down to third. Emily Shep on to first. Henry will take third behind the play. So the first swing comes on the 9th pitch. Lupi gets an out, but Texas gets a runner to third. As a reliever this year, Nick Lupi's been tremendous. A 1.63 ERA, but struggling from the start. Team's hitting .337 against the junior Lupi. Viviana Martinez, Texas's number 3 hitter, the redshirt junior. Takes up and in. Texas has taken 3 first pitch balls and 3 batters to start the game. Yesterday, remember, Kenzie Brown was out of the first inning on 8 pitches. Texas swung at the final 5 pitches that inning. Today they've swung at 1 of 10. Martinez lines one, nearly hit Henry in foul ground. Mike White, who told us earlier today he is a softball magnet out there, still wearing a couple of bruises in the line of fire as well. The Texas head coach, now in his 8th year, 7 of those years with a Super Regional, excluding 2020, of course, due to COVID, and his Longhorns have made the Supers all 7 times, second longest active streak in the country. A little bit low, that's ball 2 for Martinez, and that is an important pitch for Lupe and then later Tegan Kavan to get.
And it's just tough to be the pitcher that goes out there first in a high-stakes, high-pressure game like this, because you're feeling out the umpire and the other team is able to look at these reps early and figure it out through you.
There's a ground ball to second base. Ho Ching coming to the plate, and the throw's dropped by Swan, so Henry can scamper back to third. Tiare Ho Ching came home, and Henry was in a rundown, but Swan couldn't handle it. And the Horns have runners at the corners for Atwood.
Yeah, Sam Swan is so reliable back behind the plate, but a misbobbled ball is going to potentially take an out away from ASU. I mean, you don't never know with Caden Henry's speed in a rundown situation, but a potential out that they did not get there.
A fielder's choice, and here is Atwood. The most RBIs of any active player in the country. And she shows bunt as Martinez scampers to second for a steal. So Vivi Martinez picks up her 4th stolen base of the year. Wise move there with Henry and her speed at third, and 2 are in scoring position for Atwood. A close one off the corner, it's 1-1.
Some of these pitches are really close, and you can just see how patient Texas is being against Lupe. She's going to have to come more on the plate to get these strikes called, and that is tough against Texas's offense.
A couple of pitches that could have gone her way. Atwood on the ground to shortstop. Brooklyn Ulrich to the plate, and Henry's out there. Ulrich, the shortstop, darts a throw home, and Arizona State cuts down the potential first run.
Caden Henry is one of the fastest players in the SEC, one of the fastest players in the nation. She got a great jump, but Ulrich is just right on top of this, and Swan, even though she bobbled that last throw to her, handles it beautifully. The cat makes the catch, goes straight down with the tag to quickly get Henry and keep her from scoring.
Texas did not challenge, and it looked like they were right not to. Martinez to third, Atwood to first, and Leanne Good takes a strike. You mentioned it, Mika Lupe is a big-time ground ball pitcher. Stewart, Martinez, and Atwood, some fly ball line drive hitters, have all put it on the ground. And she can get out of the inning unscathed by retiring Good. Up and away for ball 1. Leanne Good, a senior from San Antonio, the 8th pick in the AUSL draft by the Texas Volts. A 3.5-year starter, a steady presence for Texas. Swings and lashes a ball foul for strike 2. Yesterday, Texas got the leadoff runner on the first 3 innings and did nothing in any of those innings. They were 1 for 10 in the game with runners on and 1 for 8 with 2 outs. Will it be more of the same in game 2? Good takes, strike 3 called. This time, Lupe gets the call around the outside corner. A shape-shifting strike zone early goes the Sun Devils' way.
Look at her paint the outside corner with this curveball. Has a little bit of drop to it. Leanne Good shook her head. Lupe gives a fist pump. She knew it when Swan caught it.
for the Arizona State Sun Devils, champions of the Big 12 tournament and winners of 10 consecutive games. Sam Swan drove in 3 of ASU's 4 last night. Seniors and juniors in the top 5 spots. 7 upperclassmen for Megan Bartlett's Sun Devils team. And for a second straight night, Arizona State will face Tegan Cavan. The first 5 innings yesterday saw her streak of not allowing an earned run in the NCAA tournament snapped at nearly 48 innings. What can she do, Amanda, to step up tonight?
Well, she's definitely been in this situation before. She's felt the pressure. She's won a national championship. She has been pretty much perfect at the Women's College World Series and has a ton of experience that not many pitchers have, and just a junior, but she is an absolute star in the circle. Can get big-time swings and misses with her rise ball.
Like White told us, he asked Tegan if she felt good, wanted the ball today. No question she did. Back out there for game 2 after throwing 85 pitches yesterday. And she misses down to Tanya Wendell, who was 1 for 4, with a run scored in the 3-run fifth that ultimately ended Cavan's night, broke the tie. The Arizona native Wendell with a sharp ground ball to Vivi Martinez, who throws her out.
It's a good swing, though, on a pitch that's up in the zone, and that's what these ASU hitters are going to expect out of the hand of Cavan. Her changeup that she works at 60 miles an hour is so important to complement her rise ball up in the zone at 70. She is a rise ball pitcher. It has 10 inches of up rake, but when her changeup is down and getting hitters to chase it like that down through the zone, she's almost unhittable. She'll also work in a drop ball down at 70, but everything is to complement her rise ball.
There's a strike to the 6th-year senior, Kaylee Pond. Changeup key to her success. How was that pitch last night for her?
I thought it was left up at times. She made some mistakes with that pitch. And she had success early on, actually, in the first inning with her drop ball. She had 2 strikeouts in the first inning with her drop ball that got Arizona to chase down and out of the zone, but they seemed to go away from that pitch. And Coach White, when we talked to him before the game, actually was thinking maybe we should have stuck with that pitch a little bit longer.
I thought maybe she had lost the feel for it a little, and he noted they went away from it. We talked to Megan Bartlett. She said, my gosh, the first 19 pitches of the game, there were 18 strikes. We're wondering, is it going to be one of those Tegan Cavan nights? But they were able to wait her out a little bit. Pond was 0 for 3, hit by a pitch, having a big postseason as she takes strike 2 right at the knees.
You know, an interesting part of this ASU 10-game win streak is just the amount of rise ball pitchers that they have faced along the way. Facing Nyjah Kennedy, facing Caitlin Terry, facing Ruby Mayland, who's more of a drop ball, but her rise ball in her career, Ruby Mayland, has gotten better, and she's used it more as of late.
This ball smoked to shortstop as well. Those are 2 hard-hit balls, but they're 2 outs as Cavan has kept it on the ground.
So with Tegan Cavan also being a rise ball pitcher, I mean, they faced Sydney Peters at Texas A&M a couple of times in the regional. I mean, they have faced a lot of rise ball pitchers, and ASU has looked very comfortable facing rise ball pitchers, flattening out their swings and having a lot of hard hit balls and success off of rise ball pitchers.
They had 8 hits, 2 walks yesterday without a home run. And here's Sam Swan, who had the best swings. An RBI single in the 3rd, a 2-run single in the 5th. And after that first pitch to Swan, Patty Ruth Taylor, the Texas pitching coach, will come to the circle because Texas is even more aware now the danger that Sam Swan possesses.
She had a couple of great at-bats against Tegan Cavan, and she fought with 2 strikes. Actually, all of the RBIs that ASU had yesterday were in pitchers' counts, including both of the hits from Sam Swan off of Cavan, trying to work this low and out pitch, and she just shoots it up the middle. That was a 1-2 count, and this was a 1-2 count. These are 2 different at-bats. Same pitch, though, 3 RBIs off of 2 1-2 counts by Sam Swan, who was so clutch in yesterday's game, not trying to do too much, as you mentioned, not trying to hit the home run, but being able to capitalize on really not that bad of pitches out of the hand of Tegan Cavan, but I just don't know why they went back to that same pitch against her the second time.
Swan is a junior from just a little ways up the road in Georgetown, Texas. Said she had her whole family here yesterday. And Megan Bartlett tells us there's a big Swan traveling party at a lot of the games as well. She said after the game yesterday, Sam, that Texas, hometown school here, did not recruit her out of high school. Here she is in her third year at Arizona State with a chance to end the Longhorn season. Two and one from Kavan to Swan. There's ball 3, as foretold. A must-win game, and Texas has turned to its ace, to the most outstanding player of the 2025 Women's College World Series. And she gets a swing and a miss on a chase there to run the count full.
You see her smile after that swing, maybe guessing that Kavan was going to come with something a little bit sweeter than that, getting a little greedy.
3-2 pitch. Spiked it. And Swan has a 2-out walk. Think about something that Mike Young said after Tegan Kavan pitched in the SEC title game against Alabama. It was a 3-2 count in the first inning. 2-out, nobody on. Grooves a pitch to Alexis Papillo for a home run. And Mike said he told Key, why'd you need to throw that pitch there? 2-out, nobody on. You got to know the situation. You could have walked her. I don't want walks, but you could have walked her. You didn't have to give in. And she didn't allow her on the rest of the game. And I wonder if that kind of thing is ringing around in Tegan Kavan's head, the way they have carefully pitched Swan. As you can see there, this is not a pitcher who walks too many. She had good success against Shep yesterday, and she's in a 1-1 count with her here. Emily Shep had a game-winning RBI Fielder's Choice against A&M in Game 2 of their regional. And a ground ball down to third here. So a few pitches later, Kavan does get out of the inning. All the outs on the ground for her, and we're scoreless through 1.
The NCAA Softball Super Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Welcome back to Austin, Texas, where this Arizona State team is deeply rooted in their belief of one another. If you ask them about the identity of this team, they would say, we're a vibe squad, and those vibes were fully on display last night. You just saw Kaylee Pond in a pop-out, running back into the dugout, demonstrating those vibes, celebrating all of the little things, and continuing this loose, fun attitude that this team has brought to Austin, Texas. In her final season of softball, showing that culture that Megan Bartlett has worked so hard to establish in this Arizona State program, and they're looking to do the same tonight. But Coach told her team, just because we won game someone doesn't mean anything. She is very familiar with Mike White and this Texas's resume when it comes to their super regional record and this team's ability to come back, guys.
Yeah, she was on that staff, Alyssa, when Texas lost game one of the Supers in 2022 at Arkansas, and then roared all the way back to beat them and make it to the Champ Series. Megan Bartlett, hired from Texas in her 2 years as an assistant here on the 40 acres to go to Arizona State. She told us she felt like it was largely because of the culture she helped cultivate when she was at Texas with Mike White. Hannah Wells, the freshman, takes ball one.
Has to be a little bit weird to come back to the place that you left, and there's some history here, of course, here, and then of course history last weekend whenever Texas A&M played Arizona State in the regional, and she took the job after Tricia Ford had left ASU to go to Texas A&M. So 2 weekends with connections for Coach Bartlett.
Well, she may have to pay taxes in the state at this rate pretty soon. They beat Texas Tech, though that was not in Texas, Oklahoma, to win the Big 12 title. They beat Texas A&M in the regional. Wells blasts one to right and foul. It's 2-2, and here they are trying to take down a third successive Power Conference Texas team. They've ended A&M season. A lot of folks looked at the NCAA brackets on Selection Sunday and thought could have another Texas A&M Super Regional. We had an absolute classic 2 years ago between those two. Not to be the case. Arizona State with what's considered an upset, and they don't feel like the underdogs, but here they are, the unseeded team in the driver's seat in the series. Ground ball foul, 2-2 still for Mika Lupi to Wells. It is weird to think Arizona State underdog, right? Because the seventh most World Series appearances of any program. They've been to the World Series 12 times. They've been to the NCAA tournament 35 times. It's just been a little while. 8 years since the Sun Devils' last trip to OKC in the World Series. Another 2-2 for Wells. Is ball three.
And it was a rebuild situation for Coach Bartlett when she took over Arizona State. She had back-to-back losing records in 23 and 24 in her first 2 years, but how quickly they've been able to turn this program back around and get them back on track in the postseason.
Wells with a high drive to center. She hit it out there yesterday. She got under it today. 7-pitch battle with a slugging freshman, and Lupi gets her first out, or anybody's first out in the air.
Kevin, when Coach Bartlett took over this program, she told us there were 8 players on the roster. They had no pitcher and no catcher, so they had to go to the portal, just try to pull some things together to be able to compete that first year in 2023. And since then, they've been really good about getting players in the portal, got Kinsey Brown, and have really turned this Arizona State program around and to be a true contender to get to the Women's College World Series.
She said when they got to their third summer, she felt like it had been 15 years. But Josh Bloomer, assistant coach, he said crushed it in the portal a couple of years ago. Those transfers from last year, Emily Shep throws out Ashton Maloney. When you look at the infield, Shep's a transfer from Arizona a year ago. Brooklyn Ulrich, a shortstop who's an Arizona kid, is a transfer from Marshall. The first baseman, Katie Chester, is a transfer from Missouri. So they have built this team largely, though not entirely, through the portal. 2 down, here's Kyle Altmaier.
I think you have a really cool blend with Arizona State of transfer kids from the portal, you know, freshmen coming in, but also transfers returning back to their hometown that know and just take so much pride in wearing the maroon and gold and wearing ASU across their chest that it kind of has this extra, I don't know, this extra connection feel with those players that have been able to return back home to their hometown and represent Arizona State. It means a lot to some of those players, and I think it bleeds off to the other players who aren't from the area.
2 strikes on Altmaier. Kyle Altmaier very familiar with this opponent. Her first 3 years were at Arizona. Transferred into Texas for her senior season. And she was hitting third at times earlier in the year. Out of the lineup late, but back in there and batting 8th today. A .420 on base percentage. Not a power hitter. It's ball 2, a hard one from Lupi. Altmaier started all 61 games for Arizona a year ago. This is her 39th start of this season with Texas. Lupi's 2-2. A little low for ball 3. Mike White takes out the freshman Alyssa Sneed, plugs in the senior Altmaier's. One change in the starting lineup today. Adds experience with his team's back to the wall. And that's paying off early as Altmaier will reach on an infield hit. The first of the game for either team. So here's the freshman J.C. Nichols. A little more life early in the Texas dugout tonight. Nichols 0 for 3 yesterday. Punched out all 3 times against Kenzie Brown. Replacing the legendary Mia Scott, who had one of the great careers in Texas history and, of course, led them to their first national title last year. Nichols, a freshman from Durant, Oklahoma. This is strike 2.
Lupi is doing a really nice job of just living on the edges, living down in the zone, and just pitching to her strengths and seeing if she can get Texas to chase, feeling out this strike zone early. You can tell she's settled into this game nicely.
A junior out of Pleasant Grove, California, who actually has pitched more games than Brown, though a lot of those in relief. Brown's thrown a lot more innings. 4th most games pitched in the Big 12, 4th in walks per 7 innings in the league as well.
Well, it's always a decision for the team that wins game 1 of, do you want to come back out with your ace, or do you want to just kind of feel things out and see how game 2 goes and keep your ace in the bullpen ready to come in relief and or ready for game 3. And they've been throwing and relying on Lupi a lot here lately. This to me was not a surprise to see Lupi start this game. She was a game 2 starter in almost every series. They threw her in the Big 12 tournament. They threw her against Texas A&M to gave her the start on Sunday when they were 1 win away from making it here. And then Kenzie Brown came in relief late in that game.
Megan Bartlett said she has solidified herself as a number 2 in college softball. And Nichols stays alive here with a short swing. Texas has certainly made her work more than they did Kenzie Brown last night. 20 pitch first inning. This will be the 22nd of the second inning. Brown only threw 94 pitches in the game in 7 innings. Be a 7th pitch to Nichols. Altmaier's at first, and Nichols slaps a ball off the plate and foul. Mike White said that having J.C. Nichols slap the ball a little more has really opened up another avenue for her offensively. A lot of weapons. A little bit of power. Does have a home run on the year, but mostly going to see that slap from Nichols at the bottom of the order.
Don't let her beat you, baby. Let's go.
This ball put in play to short, and Ulrich just throws her out. 2 more outs on the ground. 2 scoreless innings for Mika Lupi. You know, it's almost becoming a bit right now. It's like an Andy Kaufman deal. Just lose game one of the Super Regional. Mike White's team has lost game one again and again and again. And then they've won game two 4 of the last 7 times. Nobody can ride a bucking Bronco quite like Mike White. We give you the stat every year. It's 79% of game one winners make it to the World Series. Texas has lost game one of the Super Regionals 7 straight times, but they're 3-3 in those 6, and they've made the Champ Series 3 of the last 4 years. We talked to Mike White before the game, and you wouldn't know whether he won or lost. Eerily calm as always. He's been in this spot before.
They're just so used to it, and I think that this team is full of athletes that like playing with their backs against the wall. I think that they play better like that. And you know, this Texas team too is really good in late innings. They're good in elimination games. I mean, this is just something that we've grown to come to know about Texas softball over the past few years.
Big batter here to lead off for Arizona State against Tegan Cavan. It's Katie Chester, 20 home runs. And Chester takes up high. Mike White said after the game yesterday that it's just the softball gods playing tough, and maybe I should eat something different for breakfast. But he felt like, look, his team was outplayed in every facet. He said, frankly, Arizona State out-hustled us, to tell you the truth. And he thought the Sun Devils dictated the pitchers in the game. Well, he's asking that dial where that pitch was. He's hoping Tegan Cavan can dictate a little better, have the full mix working better. He's already walked 1 in the game. And that's a 4-pitch walk of Chester.
You guys were talking about the reaction of Mike White and this Texas team loving their backs against the wall, seemingly. I talked to probably about a dozen fans walking out of the ballpark last night. The fans are very aware of this, too. There was zero panic. Everybody was like, yeah, you know, we'll come back and we'll win it tomorrow. That's what we always do.
There, he said it. Obviously, we're in a familiar position. I mean, 8-3 when facing elimination in the Super Regionals. 8-3. They forced a game 3 every year except for 1 under Mike White. You go back to 2019. The only time they did not do it was 2023 when they were swept at Tennessee. Well, they did it 2 years ago against Texas A&M. Won game 2, coming back from 4 runs down in that one. We came back against Clemson in game 2 last year. Arizona State is acutely aware of the kind of game 2 and game 3 magic Texas usually has. They're trying to get on the front foot with Ashley Mejia, and she had some terrific at-bats yesterday against Cavan. 2 doubles in 3 at-bats, including an RBI double in the 5th. And he has become a much more well-rounded hitter in her sophomore year. And she takes ball 2.
The biggest win that Arizona State could have tonight is to have more runs than Texas at the end of the game. I mean, obviously that would be the biggest win. The second biggest win, if that doesn't happen, is to make Tegan Cavan go deep into counts and have her throw a lot today.
A soft ground ball over to first base. Stewart tags the bag. It's a productive out as Chester moves to second.
So just like Texas is having a lot of patience at the plate against Lupe, ASU needs to have a lot of patience at the plate against Cavan for several reasons, just to put more pressure. Maybe it just feels like a smaller strike zone today than what we had last night, but just to make her throw a lot of pitches, because if there is a game 3, who do you think is going to start it? The All-American, the national champion that was the MOP at the World Series last year, Tegan Cavan. So they want to make her work in this game today.
Cavan gets a low strike to Yaya Acuna. Well, one thing we've noticed already, Tegan Cavan keeping the ball down. She's induced 4 groundouts yesterday in 5 innings, and 24 batters faced. She only induced 3. And another ground ball here. Cavan on to first for the out. Chester holds at second. So make it 5 outs, all on the ground for Tegan Cavan, who's so often a huge strikeout pitcher, 225 on the year.
Hey, good hitter. Here we go.
Here's Brooklyn Ulrich, as nobody's hit the ball in the air yet for Arizona State. Ball one to Ulrich.
His first time through, maybe showing her drop ball and her changeup a little bit more. I'll be interested when the top of the order comes up for Arizona State if we do see her rise ball a little more in that second AB.
Ulrich holds back her barrel, and it's 2-0.
You know, it seemed like in yesterday's game, too, there's just so much gamesmanship that happens on the field. But I heard ASU calling out Tegan Kavan's changeup as a team as if they had that picked. And then I have a feeling that Texas had Kinsey Brown's changeup picked as well. So that is always going down on the field with these coaching staffs that have watched so much film. They have just hawk eyes on the pitcher to try to pick pitches and grips before the pitch comes.
Strike 2-1. Look at Ulrich asking about that pitch she thought was a little off the plate. Redshirt senior from Mesa, the lifelong Sun Devil fan, takes strike two. Reese Atwood very happy with the location there. Ulrich nodding her head as if to say, okay, that's what it's going to be. A brilliant hitter with runners in scoring position. She stays alive as Kavan goes to the rise.
It's so interesting about that Tegan Kavan rise ball because she can literally throw it in each of the four quadrants. So she can throw it at the knees, she can expand the zone up the eyes with that pitch. She truly has so much belief and command of that pitch, and the drop and the change, again, just complement it.
6 pitch to Ulrich, trying to open the scoring. Takes low instead, and it's 3-2.
Look at her point to the dugout after that changeup that she just took down in the zone, as if they were relaying that changeup to her to give her a heads up that that changeup was coming. She could see that pitch down to get to this pitch here.
Josh Bloomer was fired up from third as well. 3-2. And the nods that she got, the smiles from Josh Bloomer there, the third base coach, and the dugout reaction, makes you think Arizona State's got something, or it makes you think they want Tegan Kavan to think they've got something. The chess game is on here in Austin. 8 pitch to Ulrich. Grounded foul.
Yeah, and Josh Bloomer is over there in the third base coach's box, right in the corner, eyes on Kavan whenever she's getting the signal and getting her grip. His eyes are locked in on her, so he'll scoot a little bit up as she approaches the pitching rubber, and just being able to look at these eyes locked in on what she is doing.
What does that do to you psychologically as a pitcher?
I think, you know, you always worry about what they know, what they're going to say, and sometimes you can get in your head too much about it. But I think at this point, with the experience that Kavan has, she's used to it. A junior, played in the SEC, played the best teams in the country. This is happening every game that she steps into the circle. She's used to it.
The longest at-bat of this Super Regional for either team. A line drive drilled into left. It's out of the glove of Altmaier. Brooklyn Ulrich delivers on the 10th pitch with a double that popped out of Altmaier's glove. And for the second straight night, the Sun Devils strike first.
What an at-bat by Ulrich. So much credit that she was giving right back to her dugout and her teammates. They were on Tegan Kavan. She saw everything that Tegan Kavan had to offer. And this is going to be the second ball that Texas outfielders cannot come away with a catch. We saw it from Caden Henry yesterday in center field, and now Altmaier in left field, where it would have been a great play to make, but it goes off of their glove. They don't get it out, and it leads to an ASU run.
Well, we talked to Mike White before the game. He talked about that Caden Henry play, and he said, I know it would have been a great play. Might have been a SportsCenter top 10 play. But as far as he's concerned, you get a glove on the ball, you have to make the catch. Ho Ching off the end of her bat, pops out to second. 2 pitches too late for Texas. Arizona State with a second inning run. Ulrich puts the Sun Devils on top. put pressure on in the first, had Caden Henry to third with one out, but could not break through. This fielder's choice bobbled at the plate. Henry would get back to third with runners on the corners, though. A Reese Atwood ground ball. Arizona State gets Henry at the plate, and then Mika Lupi ends the inning with a strikeout of Leanne Good.
And Mika Lupi able to work out of that jam after a leadoff walk to Caden Henry. And look, that's the difference in tonight's game at this point, because Arizona State just scored the first run of the game after a leadoff walk. Texas could not capitalize in the first inning after their leadoff walk.
Well, they're 1 for 15 now with runners on base in this Super Regional. Yesterday, they were 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position, and something that is very hard to do. They went 0 for 4 in an inning with runners in scoring position because there was no out recorded on the fielder's choice. Mika Lupi, second time through the order. Caden Henry gets her barrel of this ball to left. That's a fair ball off the fence. And Henry will dash into second as Texas tries to answer Arizona State's run. Henry slashes a double the other way.
Well, that double was in the air. Texas has been hitting a lot of balls on the ground, which is what we expected with Lupi in the circle with her drop ball and her curveball. But look at Caden get her barrel underneath that pitch. That is low and away, but that is an adjustment and a statement to the Texas offense and fans that this is going to be the adjustment that they make against Lupi the second time through the order.
A 10-game hit streak now for Henry, and here is the SEC Player of the Year. Katie Stewart to take ball one. Stewart, the fourth Texas Conference Player of the Year. Reese Atwood, who's batting a couple of batters after her, won it in 2024. Swing and a miss, strike one.
It's a swing and miss on a 57-mile-an-hour changeup that Lupi drops in there that just had Katie Stewart, the home run hitter, completely fooled. A pitch that Lupi learned this year with John Barkfeld, the ASU pitching coach.
2 years ago, Atwood set the Texas home run record. Stewart broke it this season. She's got 27 of them, and she's got a 2-1 count here. A 2-1 from Lupi. Remember, one of the coaches who recruited Katie Stewart, and maybe the lead recruiter, is Megan Bartlett, who is from the Midwest like Katie Stewart. And of course, she left before Katie got here, but she was involved in that early recruiting. Said she talked to a lot of her Chicago people and helped try to flip Katie, who she thought was a lock to Michigan. Megan told us with a little laugh and a half smile, "I'm sure I'm going to regret that decision at some point." Stewart with a ground ball foul. It's 2-2 here.
You just have to be so careful with the way that Katie Stewart has seen the ball this year, her at-bats, the adjustments that she's made to be able to keep from getting around so many pitches. She's been better on the down. She's been better on the up. I mean, the year that Katie Stewart has had has been tremendous and hitting over 500 with runners in scoring position this season.
A 2-2. Stewart demolishes it foul.
And that's why when you go in against Katie Stewart, you have to go way in, like Lupi has done in this at-bat, placing those inside pitches, a ball or two off the plate, and getting that long foul ball that is home run distance, but it goes foul to set up this next pitch. I bet she throws a changeup.
She tried to throw a changeup. What's going through Megan Bartlett's mind right now? The player she wanted desperately to be a Texas Longhorn, who's trying to do in her current team as a Longhorn. 3-2 from Lupi. Henry at second, nobody out in the third. And Stewart takes ball four. The major danger of Katie Stewart's swing is averted, but the pressure is only beginning for Mika Lupi. 2 on, nobody out, and the heart of the Texas order coming up. Kenzie Brown, who could certainly be part of this game, has not started to warm up yet. She's just a third-inning spectator. Vivi Martinez. First pitch swinging. Martinez slices it to left center. Pond makes the catch. Henry retreats and cannot tag from second. So a good running play by Kaylee Pond, and the Longhorn runners hold.
I think sometimes, just looking at the Texas coaching staff, I'm wondering if they wanted Caden Henry to try to go on that. That ball was taking Pond toward the wall. She has the speed to be able to take an extra 60 feet. I've seen her do that before.
Off speed, a little low for Reese Atwood. I mean, how differently would Arizona State play this right now? The runner at third and 2. All the ground balls that Loopy gets. Atwood bounced into a fielder's choice to short her first time. And Reese is under that pitch for strike one.
That had a little bit of up to it. And Reese swings underneath it, trying to get the bottom of these drop balls, but that was a nice pitch. Good movement by Loopy through the zone.
It could be the final collegiate game for Reese Atwood. National champion, All-American, Big 12 Player of the Year. Atwood with the ground ball down to third. Shep for one, Shep for two! An inning-ending double play, and Loopy dances out of a 2-on, not-out jam.
Well, and think about if Caden Henry would have tagged on that fly ball to deep left center field, this wouldn't have been an option. But with a ground ball pitcher, this is always an option with runners at 1 and 2. Shep turns the double play. Loopy works out of the jam.
Tape 3 Super Regional storylines. Oklahoma, after a loss yesterday, got out ahead early, beat Mississippi State 7-1. They'll play Game 3 tomorrow in Norman. There will be a Game 3 in Gainesville. Jocelyn Erickson, 2-run homer the first off Nyjah Kennedy. The Gators romp against the Red Raiders 10-2. And there are 3 teams headed for OKC. Nebraska for the first time since 2013. Tennessee, no strangers, a third time in 4 years. And congratulations, finally, to the Arkansas Razorbacks, their first trip to the World Series. They run-ruled Duke in consecutive games. What a wonderful story for Courtney Deifel and her powerful Razorbacks, who have been oh so close year in and year out. Were one of the favorites to make it to the Champ Series in 2022, won Game 1 against unseeded Texas. Tanya Wendell floats one to right. Maloney misread it, and Wendell is going to leg out a double. Ashton Maloney completely froze, and the Texas corner outfielders are having a nightmare start.
You don't see this from Ashton Maloney, who has been out there for all 4 years of her career. A ton of experience out in right field, has Wendell able to sit back on that changeup. That was 61 miles an hour, and she just did not look fooled at all. Barrels one up, and Maloney takes a couple of steps in and then goes back. It's a leadoff double for Wendell.
Wendell's second hit of the Super Regional. Let's see if Kaylee Pond can move her over. And Tegan Cavan starts her with a strike. Well, right after that Wendell double, look who is in the bullpen. Somewhere she is in the bullpen, I swear. We just saw her at the opening of that shot. Kenzie Brown behind the scaffolding. This is not a surprise. The game plan for Arizona State was start Mika Lupi, and then if they could find a moment with the lead, maybe in a tie game, to get Kenzie Brown in, they would. So she will start to throw. Pond to ground out to shortstop. Into shallow center field. That will drop for a base hit. Wendell got a very late break. She did not read it well at all, but she does get to third. And Arizona State has runners at the corners and nobody out, looking for more against Cavan.
And Pond gets big time jammed, but is able just to find some grass well out of the reach of Henry and Martinez. And ASU putting a little something together here against Cavan this second time through. First time through the order against Cavan, a strikeout pitcher. ASU did not have any strikeouts. And I'm looking at Patty Ruth Taylor going down to the bullpen with the way that Citlali Gutierrez threw in yesterday's game in relief. They're going to go to her right now.
Tegan Cavan in an elimination game only gets 6 outs. And here is the call for the senior Citlali Gutierrez. It had been the stuff of legends for Tegan Cavan this postseason run the last 2 years. The stuff that will make her a Longhorn hero forever. But her immortality dented in a big way here by Arizona State. And Citlali Gutierrez will try to rescue this situation with the champs on the ropes early. Only 2+ innings and 42 pitches for Tegan Cavan. 1 run so far. She leaves with Tanya Wendell at third and Kaylee Pond at first. And now it's up to Citlali Gutierrez to try to rescue this third inning, or as much of it as possible, for Texas in a must-win game for the number 2 overall seed.
And Gutierrez threw 2 innings in yesterday's game, and they did not have any hits off of her. She had a couple of strikeouts, including one against Sam Swan, who has been so clutch with runners in scoring position. They want to have this matchup here against Gutierrez.
First pitch to Swan. Number 3 hitter takes. Ball 1 somewhere. Where is a little unclear. Swan walked her first time. 2 for 4 in the series. On base 3 times, 3 RBIs. A hard ground ball foul, and it's 1-1. In the NCAA tournament with runners in scoring position, the Sun Devils have been okay outside of Samantha Swan, who is 5 for 8 with runners in scoring position this tournament. In the dirt, that one gets away from Atwood, and Wendell is safe at third on a high throw back from Atwood. Wendell half committed And a good throw by Reese Atwood might have had her at third. Pond, though, does take second on the wild pitch.
100% would have had her. Wendell thought she was going to go and then decides to retreat, but a Reese Atwood high throw pulls Nichols away from the bag and allows Wendell to get back.
Infield in, second and third. Sharp ground ball to short. Martinez can only barely get a glove on it, and Wendell is in to score the second Sun Devil run. Sam Swan delivers again, her fourth RBI of the Super Regional, and it's 2-0.
And all four of the balls off of her bat that have generated the RBIs have been on the ground, just shortening up, using the ground, hitting the ball hard, hitting it through the infielder in this instance at a point where Martinez was so deep into the hole she couldn't do anything with it.
First and third again. And strike one to Emily Shep. It's an infield single for Swan, who has reached base 4 of 6 times. She's driven in 4 of the 6 Arizona State runs. Right in there to Shep for strike 2. Pond at third, Swan at first. Slapped out of play.
And Solali Gutierrez is going to be more of a drop ball pitcher, so she'll throw 68, 69 down with her drop ball. But what makes her so difficult to time up is her off-speed curveball that she'll come in with that cuts across the plate and away from these right-handed batters at about 58 to 60.
Swing and a miss, a huge strikeout for Gutierrez.
Oh, and then we'll go down with an off-speed drop ball that isn't even one of her best pitches, or I should say most used pitches. Look at the fall off of this pitch. She takes about 8 miles an hour off of it to turn that into an off-speed drop ball and gets the chase and a much-needed swing and miss.
First and third for Chester.
And then that's the off-speed curveball. Moves a little bit different, spins a little bit different, but the same speed at 61.
2 on for Chester, who walked. A ground ball down to third. Nichols will go to first and hold the runner. Pond stays at third. Swan over to second. Gutierrez gets a big out, number 2. It's up to Ashley Mejia to make this a third inning crooked number. Very late swing by Mejia on strike 1. Mejia doubled in a run yesterday, had 2 doubles. She's got Swan and Pond as a couple of ducks on the pond. And a high fly ball to right field. Maloney started back, drifts in, and ends the inning. It's a win-win. Arizona State gets a run. Texas gets out of it without any more damage. But the Sun Devils lead by 2.
Welcome back to the NCAA Softball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. Here with Texas head coach Mike White. Coach, you pulled Tegan, you put Sitlali in. What kind of different look are you hoping that she gives you?
Just to slow them down a little bit. We weren't quite getting the outs we needed and ran into a bit of trouble. And their right-hand hitters were coming up, so we wanted to use an off-speed curve against them.
Got a few more hits in that last inning by your offense. How have you seen your hitters adjust to Mika Lupi?
Well, right now we're doing a pretty good job of getting on base. We just got to find a way to score some runs, and we're leaving a lot of runners on base, which is not going to help us.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, hook 'em.
Mike White's team has left 4 runners on base, and they've had a runner thrown out at the plate. Will they get another chance after this inning to adjust to Mika Lupi is the question, because Kenzie Brown's in the bullpen after a complete game with 10 strikeouts yesterday. It's 5, 6, 7 here. Texas has had the leadoff hitter on 5 of 10 innings. The rest of the batters are 1 for 26. And the one is a 2-out Kaya Altmaier infield single in the second today. Almost hard to believe. Leanne Good, the leadoff hitter here, takes ball 1.
We'll take that one step further. The leadoffs that have gotten on for both teams have gotten on in identical ways, a walk and a double. ASU has brought those runners around. Texas has not.
Good with a fly ball to center field. Routine for Pond. Is it fair to say, fair to assume, I don't know what happens when you do that Mika Lupi's got maximum 4 batters left, and the third time through is Kenzie Brown time?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. We'll see how this inning goes. I'm sure they would love to get Lupi through 4 innings and then bring Kenzie Brown for the 5th, 6th, and 7th.
There's a big, dangerous hitter. Hannah Wells to take a strike.
Hannah Wells kind of spitting on that pitch, seeing the location of it right over the heart of the plate. She hit a home run last night, and Kenzie Brown first pitch mistake. That was right down the middle. Hannah Wells has been so hot offensively, hitting a lot of home runs, a lot of pop in her bat. 5
of her last 8 hits have been home runs. Her 15 are the most in a single season by a Texas freshman, breaking Katie Stewart's record of 2 years ago. 1-1 from Lupi to Wells. That's up and away, and a good take by Wells. According to Matt Dial's strike zone, it was a good take. Gatorade National Player of the Year a season ago. Only one other Longhorn was the Gatorade National Player of the Year in high school, and she's in the front row, Kat Osterman. Big swing by Wells, who tried to wait back on the changeup. It's 2-2. That deep breath kind of looks like Katie Stewart, who has really taken Hannah under her wing this year, helped mentor her, pitched in very similar ways. Wells with a ground ball to second base. Ho Ching, out number 2. Monday afternoon, the Yankees take on the Royals in Kansas City to start a series at the K. First pitch 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central. Catch it live on ESPN and watch the game streaming on the ESPN app. Little Memorial Day matinee in KC. Well, Texas has almost run out of chances here before we assume Kenzie Brown will come into the game. Mika Lupi's been tremendous. Ashton Maloney down to third base, and that is a 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. Arizona State is getting closer and closer to Oklahoma City.
Welcome back to Austin, Texas, where the Sun Devils have a 2-0 lead right now. We're joined by head coach Megan Bartlett. Coach, what have you seen from your group? It feels like they've picked up right where they left off from last night. What have you been saying to them throughout the course of the evening?
Have fun and be scrappy. Just keep putting pressure. We're going to give it our best.
We saw Kenzie in the bullpen. What is your plan from a pitching standpoint moving forward?
I'll get with Coach Barkfeld and see, but yeah, hopefully we're going to get her some more run support, but I'm sure you'll see her soon.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
A little coy there, Megan Bartlett, just a little. We're sure we'll see her soon, too. Kenzie Brown's been in the bullpen. I mean, it wouldn't be crazy to keep Mika Lupi in the game. She's pitched so well, but third time through, coming up soon for Texas. That's your All-American. That's your ace. Sure feels like she's good to go based on what we just saw her mouth.
And I bet that was Coach Barkfeld going down to the bullpen, checking in to see if she's ready after warming up. And major props to Mika Lupi for the quality start that she has had against the defending national champs. Not an easy task. Started out with the lack of command and then settled right into the game. Got a couple of runs for run support.
Arizona State a win away from advancing to its 13th Women's College World Series. Texas, the defending national champions, trying to force Game 3 tomorrow. Yanixa Yaya Acuna takes the strike. Citlali Gutierrez was terrific in that third. Did allow an inherited run to score, but stranded runners at second and third. Acuna, Ulrich, and Ho-Ching, 7-8-9 here for ASU. And a ground ball over Gutierrez. Picked at second by Good. She has no chance at first, as Acuna legs out an infield hit.
You could just tell that Leanne Good trying to find some momentum on defense, trying to do everything that she could on that chopper up the middle of the field to try to get an out. But everything has been going seemingly the way of Arizona State, and that turns into a hit, even though Good played that perfectly.
Well, here's Brooklyn Ulrich, who had the first RBI of the game, a double ending a 10-pitch battle with Tegan Kavan. And how special this must be for Brooklyn Ulrich, a Mesa native, attended Mesa, Westwood, and then Red Mountain High School, dreamed of Arizona State as a kid, wanted to go there, wanted to be a Sun Devil. There's a great piece in the Arizona Central detailing her journey, and there is a young Brooklyn Ulrich with a Mesa Mountain View shirt. She is at an Arizona State game as a kid. But Tricia Ford was the head coach at the time, and that coaching staff told her she was not good enough to play at Arizona State, she said. So she ends up going to the Sun Belt and Marshall. Was a great player there for 4 years. Into the transfer portal, her final season of eligibility, and she was the first player Megan Bartlett targeted, and Megan said, "We took her before we met her." That's how badly she wanted to be a Sun Devil.
And then how about it was off of her bat that Arizona State punched their ticket to Super Regionals against Texas A&M with Tricia Ford and the coaching staff coming over from ASU to College Station. She hit a walk-off grand slam to run roll A&M to get here to Supers.
Swing and a miss. Gutierrez gets her for her second strikeout.
Citlali Gutierrez is pitching these ASU hitters tough. Drop ball inside, great height for that pitch, getting Ulrich to swing through it. Her last at bat, Ulrich's, was so good against Kavan, but Gutierrez gets her with the drop.
Tiare Ho-Ching. Team high 6-game hit streak, the sophomore from Long Beach. Ho-Ching a part of the sophomore class, which not a huge sophomore class, but really important to Megan Bartlett. You mentioned the difficulty she had putting together a roster after Tricia Ford went to Texas A&M. A bunch of players transferred out. Those first 2 years for Megan Bartlett were more about just getting enough players together, getting a roster. This sophomore class, she had a little bit more time to spend with them. Part of her third year, which was her first year in the postseason at Arizona State. Ho-Ching slaps the ball to third. Nice play by Nichols to get the force at second. J.C. Nichols, whom her teammates call a gold glover already.
She jumped at just the right time to be able to grab this on the hop and then be able to prevent that runner from getting into scoring position. Bang, bang play, but J.C. Nichols sliding right into that third base position after Mia Scott graduated on that national championship team.
Tanya Wendell, ground ball, second base, good with a flip, and we'll see who takes the circle for Arizona State in the fifth. It's a 2-0 game with 3 innings to play in game 2.
Like the Women's College World Series.
We're 5 days away from beginning the World Series in Oklahoma City. 5 days away, and one of these two teams will be playing there. Will it be Texas? They're down 2-0 into the fifth, but game 2 under Mike White. 4 fifth-inning comebacks. 19-21 on the last 2 years against A&M when they looked dead in the water, and Clemson. So Texas has been here before, losing game 1, losing into the fifth inning of game 2. And time and again they have rallied. They've got 9 outs to save their season here, with Mika Lupi still in the circle, facing the number 8 hitter, Kyle Altmaier. J.C. Nichols is on deck. Arizona State is a win away from the World Series, and Kenzie Brown in the bullpen is very much ready to go.
Potentially trying to see what she does against Altmaier and Nichols, and then maybe for the 3rd time through the order when Caden Henry comes up, potentially put her in. But Lupi in that 1-2-3 inning in the 4th, she was cruising. But now it's quick.
Retired the last 5, had an 8-pitch 4th inning. Now Texas often, as Mike White says, seems to remember how to hit from the 5th inning on. Arizona State from the 5th inning on, one of the best pitching teams in the country. A little dribbler off the end of the bat. Shep from third with a bobble. One defensive miscue may open the door for the Longhorns.
ASU has been so good defensively, and remember that Emily Shep was a catcher. They put her over there at third base because they needed somebody to fill into that position. So her first year playing third base, she's been really strong, really clean, consistent, but probably feeling Altmaier's speed on that play. That ball off the bat had a ton of spin to it, and it looks like Loopy's night will be done.
And with that glittery face mask, here is Kenzie Brown. The glittery face mask and the golden arm for the young lady who received the golden ticket a few weeks back. What a performance by Mika Loopy. 4+ innings, no runs. It'll be no earned runs no matter what happens here. A brilliant, brilliant job by the junior Loopy in the biggest start of her softball life.
And Coach Bartlett talked about how hard Mika Loopy has worked in her career at Arizona State and I'm sure she is just a proud head coach to see Mika Loopy get the start in Game 2 of the Super Regionals, World Series on the line, and pitch like that. What a moment for Loopy and a quality start by her.
Her first 7 pitches were balls that looked like this could unravel early, and she kept it together despite only 1 strikeout, got ground out after ground out, and she does her job. She gets the ball to the All-American Kenzie Brown with a lead and 9 outs to go.
I feel like people are just knowing about Kenzie Brown. Despite her being a first-team All-American last year as a junior, she's having a coming out party in the month of May with the way that she's been pitching, and Arizona State has been winning. This is her last night. The strikeouts that she had 10, moving the ball around, down in the zone, getting swings and misses, changing speeds with an off-speed drop ball, her changeup, her rise ball. Those 10 strikeouts. Another double-digit performance by Kenzie Brown against one of the best offenses in the country, like we have seen her do in the past couple of months.
And Coach Bartlett said she graduated a year ago and could have left after last season and gone anywhere. She could have gone to the highest bidder, and the phone calls were coming in as soon as the season was over, but she chose to stay, came to Megan right after the season. Coach said she's all family, she's all loyalty, commitment, and described her as old school, and now with a chance to send her team to the Women's College World Series.
How special it could be for this 4th-year Sun Devil, who's going to face J.C. Nichols. She struck out Nichols 3 times yesterday. And Nichols lays down a bunt. It's a very good one, but she is retired at first by Chester. So it'll go down as a sacrifice. Altmaier to second with 1 away.
What a great job by Nichols, who struck out 3 times against Kenzie Brown, who might right now be getting called for potentially out of the box, or maybe they called an illegal pitch on Kenzie Brown. Excuse me, the umpires are talking about it right now. That's why I'm distracted from that great defensive play by Chester with barehanding it.
Texas is challenging the call at first base. It is now under review.
Okay, so bang play at first base, but Chester, my goodness, the first baseman coming up to get that bunt. Nichols knew that her job is to put that bunt down, especially after 3 strikeouts yesterday against Kenzie Brown. Puts it down beautifully. Chester played it so well. And with Nichols' speed, it is going to be tight at first base, but she's going to be out.
Pretty clear this should not take long. Texas will lose its first of 2 challenges. And after the 5th inning ends, you can ask for a crew chief review. So pretty low risk move for Mike White, but he is going to lose a challenge on a sacrifice bunt. It'll go down 3-4. Nice quick review here.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. The runner is out. This is Texas' first challenge.
All right, Robbie Giss, the crew chief, down at 3rd.
This, to me, is the most important inning for Texas. Finally moving runners, productive outs there, turning over to the top of the order with runners in scoring position, where Texas has not been good in this Super Regional. 0 for 10 RISP last night and today.
Caden Henry swung at the first pitch all 3 times against Brown last night. Was 1 for 3. Takes ball 1 here. Henry blasted a double to left in the 3rd, walked to lead off the game. She's 9 for 16, 4 extra base hits, including 2 homers in the NCAA tournament. A strike from Brown, it's 1-1.
Kenzie Brown's going to throw with great velocity. The pitch that she will go to the most is going to be her rise ball, but her drop ball gets a lot of swing and miss and chase on it, as well as her changeup. Her changeup, she has two different versions of an off-speed pitch.
1-1 to Henry. Grounded foul, it's 1-2.
And that's one right there. Her off-speed drop ball will come in at 61. So she'll also have a changeup that she can go to, a pitch that she threw early in the game against yesterday, but it did seem like Texas picked that changeup and she stopped throwing it after the third inning. So she relied more on that off-speed drop ball that worked fantastic against these hitters.
2 strikes on Henry. Altmaier at second with 1 away. This is the kind of mentality Texas wants in this moment. Mike White said she's always living on the edge. She's unpredictable, but she plays loose. Katie Stewart said you never really see her stressed out about anything. Trying to find a little of that freeness here in the 5th. Henry chases strike 3 instead. Brown whips one by her for the second out.
She's one of the best strikeout pitchers in the country for a reason. Hitters are hitting just over 100 against her with 2 strikes. Look at this chase that she gets as that pitch runs away from Kane Henry's bat. About 2 balls off the plate. Massive strikeout with the runner in scoring position.
And here is the matchup. All-American versus All-American. Stewart slams it inside the bag and fair. That puts Texas on the board as Katie Stewart doubles in. Kaya Altmaier. The big bat finally breaks through for the Longhorns. Stewart scores Altmaier. Texas gets on the board and slices the Sun Devil lead in half.
Last night, Texas was so aggressive on the first pitch against Brown, and it did not pay off, but this time it does. Stewart looking for that inside rise ball to get her barrel on it. Flattens out her swing, gets the top half of the ball, shoots it down the line, and finally, Texas breaks through with a runner in scoring position.
Viviana Martinez. Off speed right in there. Longhorns had been 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. And remember, Kyle Altmaier only got on base because of an error by Shep at third. Stewart now the tying run at second. 0-1 to Martinez. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
That is 10 inches of vertical break up and in on the hands. I mean, that low rise ball is something so special that she can work multiple different levels with that rise ball. She can throw it through the zone and expand the zone up with it.
She hit her. A 2-strike pitch up and in that hits Vivi Martinez. Texas puts 2 on with 2 out, and Reese Atwood, in what could be the final at-bat of her collegiate career, takes center stage. First pitch swinging, and Atwood knocks it to the netting. The 248th game of Reese Atwood's historic career. 10th in the history of the sport in Division I in RBIs. Not a highly recruited player. Mike White said we thought she was another Aubrey Monroe. We thought she'd develop into being a great hitter. She did so faster than we thought. Atwood takes ball 1 wide. We've seen her leadership role grow. Mike White's talked about the belief, the hard work, and the vision for Reese Atwood, who was the Big 12 Player of the Year 2 years ago, a national champion and an All-American last year. 1-1. She chases strike 2. And another All-American, Kenzie Brown, is once more on the brink of a great escape. Time's going to be called here by Mike White.
And the one thing that you've seen Reese Atwood do in her career that she got better at last year is chase pitches, so she can put a lot of pressure on herself. You see Aaron Earlywine, the hitting coach for Texas, with a little smile. Mike White with a little smile on his face, just trying to keep her loose. You can feel how tight that she is in the box, and the head coach taking it upon himself to give her a breath in this 1-2 count.
The numbers are still amazing this year, but they've dropped off, and Mike White told us, I think it's the situation for Reese where she'll take her last at-bats with her a little bit, and it's easier to get to the top than it is to stay there. Can she get back to the top? Atwood with a ground ball, foul. The tying run at second, Stewart, who doubled. The go-ahead run at first, Martinez, who was hit by a pitch. Now the eyes of the softball world upon Reese Atwood and Kenzie Brown, two future pros in the not-too-distant future. In a 1-2 count. We'll do it again.
Did you see it in Reese Atwood's body language right now, how tight she is? Her kicking the dirt with her cleats after that swing, just her mannerisms, her shoulders looking tight even from up here.
Who can slice through this thick tension in Texas? Ball 2. At the end of a long career for somebody, it'll be Brown or Atwood at the end of this weekend. These are the moments one half will remember, the other will want to forget. Up the middle and through. Base hit for Atwood. Stewart scores, and Texas ties it. You can crack a smile if you want, Reese. Texas gets 2 and ties it in the 5th inning. What else is new here in Austin?
Reese Atwood, Coach White has said, is relentless. That is not an easy pitch at all to hit, but with 2 strikes, she was going to fight in the box, and she did it. Didn't get all of it, but got enough of it and found a hole to tie up this game.
And now a leaning Leanne Good takes ball 1. The 7th overall pick in the AUSL draft, Reese Atwood, at the end of a 7-pitch battle with her 281st career RBI and one of the more consequential ones. 1-0 to Good. Inside, Good shaking her head at ball 2.
It's a little sassy, shaking her head there. I know that was just to herself, but this part of the Texas lineup has so much experience that have hit in this inning.
2 on, 2 out, 2-2, 2-0. Swing and a miss. Good pitch by Brown.
It's not easy for Kenzie Brown to enter into this game with this Texas fight mentality on the road in front of these fans, that they know that there's an offense that wakes up late in the game for Texas, and they want it. They want it bad.
Here's a 2-1. Zipped right in there at the knees. Perfect pitch for strike 2. Kenzie Brown got to 2 strikes on Martinez and hit her. Got to 2 strikes on Atwood and allowed a run scoring single. 2 strikes on Good. A tapper out of play.
You make a good point. Last night, Arizona State, their offense was so good with 2 strikes. They had 8 hits, 5 of them were with 2 strikes. We've seen better Texas at-bats in this game and a better job of fighting with 2 strikes to make it tougher for these ASU pitchers.
This will be a 6-1 to Good. She swings and misses. A roar from Brown, who gets out of the inning with 2 stranded, but 2 score. And Texas resets game 2 of the Supers.
She'll go down as one of the best to ever put on the Texas uniform. Of course it's her. Of course she's fighting. She ties up this game late in this game.
Game 2 in LA coming up, Matt. Bruins Knights. UCLA a big win over UCF yesterday, 9-1. There will be at least 2 game 3s tomorrow. There are at least 4 teams punch their tickets to OKC. Big names: Alabama, Nebraska, Arkansas, Tennessee. Big names, big pitchers, big time teams. Who will join them? Texas has evened the score here, an emotional 2-run top of the 5th inning. But Arizona State has 2, 3, and 4 up here. Reese Atwood tied it after Katie Stewart drove in the first run. And now it's Kaylee Pond, Sam Swan, and Emily Shep against Citlali Gutierrez. The pitcher who is really a man to turn this game around in relief.
She has been the difference maker and the shift in momentum for Texas when she entered into this game, started to get some outs, get Arizona State out in front of her off-speed pitches. She settled, in my opinion, has settled Texas down.
Pond slaps one out of play. It's 2-2. Into the bullpen where it's hard to miss. Tegan Kavan is just on the bullpen area, hanging out just in case she's needed to re-enter. Right now, Gutierrez has been tremendous. Couple of infield hits, the only blemishes on her line. The 6-year senior Pond takes strike 3. A very, very difficult player to punch out, and Gutierrez does so with a freezer.
Look at her sneak this drop ball in. She is so good at throwing that drop ball right at the knees in a tough spot against these left-handed hitters in the ASU order.
Sam Swan's been the most dangerous bat for Arizona State this series. First pitch to her zips away. 11 homers for Swan, 21 doubles. Those are the 6th most in the country. A first-team All Big 12 player. She launches a ball to center field. Samantha Swan off the scoreboard. The kid from just down the road in Georgetown, Texas, threatens to hit one to her home. And Arizona State, on the back of their powerful catcher, has retaken the lead.
And this is how you punch right back. Sam Swan at the plate. Texas has been trying to avoid her, pitch around her with the bat toss to the dugout. And this is why Arizona State has not hit a home run before that swing in the Super Regional. Last weekend, they were mashing the ball in College Station. They had 7 home runs, number 99 as a team for ASU, who has found different ways to score instead of the long ball.
Their 52nd plate appearance of the Super Regional, their first home run, their 99th of the year. 3-2 Arizona State. Sam Swan with her 5th RBI out of the 7 Sun Devil runs. What a counterpunch. What a player. Two strikes on Emily Shep. Remember, Sam Swan said after the game yesterday, though she grew up less than an hour away from here in Georgetown, Texas did not recruit her out of high school. And obviously, Texas has a heck of a catcher, too. We just saw her in Reese Atwood. But Swan may get the last laugh tonight. Swing and a miss by Shep. And Gutierrez has her 4th strikeout in relief.
I mean, to think about what that home run means, the timing of it, the punch back, how we were just talking about Citlali Gutierrez and how she had been the difference maker that shifted the momentum for Texas. So to hit it off of her after Texas ties up the game, I mean, that swing, my goodness, Sam Swan.
Sam was hitting about .299 last year. That has skyrocketed this year. Part of that may be due to her powerlifting prowess. It goes back to 7th grade. We got to chat with her briefly when we first got to Austin. She said, yeah, they call me a meathead. I just love to deadlift. And it was music to my ears. I mean, you can see that power.
The 3rd strike that is being challenged by Arizona State for possibility of a foul ball. It is going to review.
So this 3rd strike to Shep being challenged as a possible foul ball here. Yeah, Sam Shep told us sometimes she gets in trouble sometimes for increasing the weight in the powerlifting department, but she is a strong, strong player at 5'3". Her home run's given them the lead, and the question is, did Shep make contact? Even if she did, it looks like Reese Atwood caught that ball.
Yeah, I agree. Just looked like Shep had maybe felt it. Let's listen in and see if we can hear it. Again, it doesn't matter because you hear it, but Reese Atwood catches it.
And Matt Dial did signal for a foul tip, but it is caught.
But it did not hit the ground.
Right. So Arizona State should lose its first challenge of 2. But it looked like Josh Bloomer was the first one to talk to Matt Dial, the 3rd base coach. So Ashley Mejia is just waiting, vibing. Vibes are higher for Arizona State after giving up 2 in the 5th. They take the lead right back. And we'll hear from Robbie Guest.
The call on the field is confirmed as a cleanly called foul tip. This is Arizona State's 2nd and final challenge.
No, it should be their first challenge. Right? Texas lost a challenge early in the game. That should be the first challenge for Arizona State. Well, Katie Chester's going to bat with 2 out. Strike 1 to Chester. Texas will have Hannah Wells, Ashton Maloney, and Kyle Altmaier, 6, 7, 8, due up in the 6th. Kenzie Brown once again will be pitching with the lead. She gave up the lead and then got it right back on the Swan homer. And this ball is drilled to left by Chester. Off the end of her bat a little bit, though, and Altmaier tracks it down. 2 for Texas, 1 for Arizona State in the 5th. Sam Swan with the swing of the Super so far. The Georgetown, Texas kid has the Sun Devils on top in Austin. Beautiful Scissortail Park just off of downtown Oklahoma City, which is going to be the sporting capital of the country for next week. The Thunder will be playing there against the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals. And Thursday, the Women's College World Series begins at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central on ESPN. For more information on the 2026 Women's College World Series, visit NCAA.com, the official home for all NCAA championships. You ready for that?
I'm so ready.
I hope not. We got to finish this game first and maybe one more. We'll see. 3-2 Arizona State. Sun Devils 6 outs from making it back to OKC. As Hannah Wells chases the first one from Kenzie Brown. A rocky 5th inning for Brown, who came on in relief. Gave up 3 two-out base runners and a run. But Sam Swan's home run has propelled Arizona State back into the lead. The All-American Brown to the freshman Wells, who homered off her yesterday. And that one right to the backstop.
We saw one of those yesterday. 2 out of her hand. She'll laugh it off like she did yesterday.
I think she got the out later in that at-bat too, which is a safe guess. She got almost all the outs. Only 5 base runners against her yesterday out of 26 horn hitters. 3 base runners already against her today. Wells swings and misses. Went up with Brown for strike 2.
And you think about the way that Kenzie Brown has pitched on this win streak in the month of May. This has not been an easy year for her, but feeling more healthy as the season has gone on and the end of April and for sure into May, pitching her best of the season.
1-2. Swing and a miss, off speed to get Wells swinging.
That off-speed drop ball is a pitch that she told us that she learned on her own to throw on a whim at practice in January before the season started. She just decided to start tinkering around because they're inter-squad scrimmaging so much, so she started to pull out this new pitch to her teammates who were probably hitting her because of the amount that they had seen her, and that off-speed drop was developed into one of her best strikeout pitches.
Seemed like it blew her pitching coach's mind a little bit. John Barkfeld, who's helped develop Kenzie into an even more well-rounded pitcher, but Kenzie said he had nothing to do with the implementation of that pitch at the start, just something she brought to him. Hey, can I try this? And it worked brilliantly. Maloney, a couple of groundouts to third. That's a swing, and it's 0-2. A one-run lead for Arizona State. Sun Devil fans counting down the outs to a potential 13th trip to the World Series. Still on the knife's edge, though, here in Austin. Maloney gets a piece. The senior slapper did have a base hit off of Brown yesterday. Could be the final game of Ashton Maloney's Texas career. A redshirt senior who suffered a knee injury before getting to Texas and sat out her first year, which was the last year Megan Bartlett was an assistant coach. Maloney has been a regular 4-year starter since. The 247th career game has started all but 2. And Maloney chips one into left field for a base hit. The 257th hit of Ashton Maloney's decorated career, and it will bring the go-ahead run to the plate.
And she's been clutch and has always found good bat on ball, good contact hitter. Goes up to get that rise ball that's moving away from her and just punches it out of the infield into the outfield for a Texas base runner late in this game.
Maloney 9 for 9 as a base stealer. Would they dare try to get her to second here? Kyle Altmaier, the go-ahead run with one away. And Altmaier lifts the first pitch to left field. Well struck, but caught by Acuna. Maloney has to dash back to first. 4 outs to go for the Sun Devils.
Let's see if Texas is going to pinch hit for J.C. Nichols.
That's exactly what Mike White's going to do. And he is going to bring up Victoria Hunter. Hunter now disappears back into the dugout and grabs her bat. Well, 2 years ago, game 1 of the Super Regionals against Texas A&M. It was a loss for Texas, but Hunter gave them a big boost at the end of that game with a pinch hit grand slam. Felt like it gave Texas a little life into the next 2 games, which they would win. So many big pinch hits over her 3 years. And Hunter takes ball 1 here. Had a pinch hit RBI single in the SEC title game. That was the first Texas run. 1-0 from Brown. Maloney at first, the tying run. Upstairs for Hunter, it's 2-0.
Taking away a couple of the pitches that Kenzie Brown would have loved to see a chase on. Her drop ball to start it, and then her rise ball to work herself right into a hitter's count.
10 career home runs, only 1 this season. Hunter with a fly ball to left field. It's deep, it's gone! More pinch hit magic from Victoria Hunter. And for the first time in this Super Regional, Texas has the lead.
What an at-bat. Just watching from the dugout, learning from your teammates at bats to do that is unbelievable.
It's almost as if Mike White foresaw this. He said to us before the game, we'll start Teagan, we'll see what happens. Maybe it gets close to the end of the game and we go to Vic Hunter. And he goes to Vic Hunter for just the second home run, the 7th hit of this season for one of the great pinch hitters in the game today. Here's a bunt by Caden Henry. Brown in time to first. Poaching got the foot down. Mike White is thinking about a challenge here. He's going to say, hang on a second. He might use a challenge as he calls in Matt Dial. So we're in a state of purgatory here before we hit the 6th inning changeover. It's a 4-3 Texas lead. It looks like Mike White is not going to challenge. What a swing by Victoria Hunter.
The at-bat, taking the drop, taking the rise, learning from her teammates' mistakes that were getting themselves out early on the first pitch, but not Vic Hunter. She was born for these moments on this field, and she gives the Horns the lead off of the devastated Kenzie Brown. My goodness, what a moment.
We will see the Bruins there shortly as Citlali Gutierrez, pitching with Texas's first lead of the Super Regional, delivers a strike to Ashley Mejia. 6, 7, and 8 for Arizona State. 4-3, the number 2 seed in the lead. Here's a little tapper foul, and it's 0-2. 2 runs in the 5th for Texas. Katie Stewart, a 2-out RBI double. Reese Atwood, a 2-out, 2-strike RBI single. And after Sam Swan's solo homer put the Sun Devils back on top, Victoria Hunter, a 2-out, 2-run pinch hit homer. First lead for Texas in the Super Regional in an elimination game for the Horns. Still 0-2 as Gutierrez now, and Texas are 6 outs away from closing this out. We'll see if Arizona State has another counterpunch.
How about this Texas offense in the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings? I mean, they just do not go away, especially in elimination games.
Swing and a miss. Gutierrez gets Mejia, and Atwood completes the play at first. 5 strikeouts for Citlali in relief. Tonight over on ABC following Game 3 of the Knicks and the Cavaliers. It's Inside the NBA, all the post-game analysis, highlights, and shenanigans to follow. with Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Shaq on ABC and the ESPN app. It would be an incredible script. It is an incredible script if we hadn't seen it last year and in 2024 and in 2022. It's just crazy that this sort of thing keeps happening with this Texas team. Now, it's a smaller version of that incredible Oklahoma run we've seen, right? Oklahoma wins 4 titles in a row last year. They make it to the semifinals. You have the Abby Dayton 2-out, 2-strike home run. You felt like you could never, ever kill Oklahoma. You could never count them out, and there's still certainly some of that Sooner DNA. Texas only has the 1 title, but in terms of playing back-to-the-wall softball, they've been as unkillable as anybody. Gutierrez low to Acuna. It's 2-1.
Well, it's going to be important for Arizona State to keep those vibes going, the looseness about them, to, even though they've not been in this exact experience like Texas before, just to continue on with what they've done to in this month of May on their 10-game win streak.
Ground ball, second base. Good, plays a short hop and has time to get the out.
It's the thing that you notice about Texas. They just don't panic in these situations because they're just so experienced at this point. They've played so many games together. They can look left and right to each other in the dugout and be like, hey, we've done this before. And they're not just saying it. They're not just like trying to like make it happen. They've actually seen it on the field before, come from behind victories. They believe in each other. They know they can fight.
Brooklyn Ulrich, who doubled in the first run, takes ball 1. RBI double on 10 pitches in the second, struck out on 5 pitches in the fourth. 1 swing can still tie the game for the Big 12 tournament champion Sun Devils. Strike to Ulrich. Atwood lets out a primal screen. It's 1-1. Gutierrez living on and around the edge here in 3 2/3 innings of very strong relief. Swing and a miss. She's got the wiffle ball whiffling right now.
Well, and her command has been so good. Last night in relief in the 2 innings that she pitched in relief of Tegan Kavan, and then of course tonight too, and giving up the home run to Swan, but she's looked so good mixing the ball around.
Hasn't even been with 3-ball count. Her 1-2. He's again.
This reminds me of the at-bat that she had in the second inning off of Kavan when she had that RBI double in her first at-bat of the game.
These have to be the moments Brooklyn Ulrich dreamed about as a young girl going to Sun Devil games and waiting 4 years of college to finally get to the Valley of the Sun, get to Arizona State. Send her team to the Super Regionals with a run rule walk-off grand slam against A&M. Here's another 1-2 from Citlali Gutierrez, and it is strike 3 swinging. To the 7th we go. Gutierrez and Texas are finally on the front foot.
She is pitching like an All-American tonight. She's a senior, her career on the line. In relief, Citlali Gutierrez, 6 strikeouts on the night.
NCAA Softball Super Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
The swings of emotion that only the month of May can provide in this sport. Second-seeded Texas trying to come back from a Game 1 loss for the 4th time in 7 postseasons. Arizona State has never lost a Super Regional after winning Game 1. But 2 Longhorn runs in the 5th and 2 in the 6th, with a Sam Swan homer sandwiched in between, have put Texas on top 4-3. 3 of those runs charged to the All-American Kenzie Brown in relief as she faces 2, 3, and 4. Katie Stewart leads off the inning and takes ball 1. Remember, if Texas wins, a winner-take-all Game 3 tomorrow, and it'll be a scenario where Brown will have pitched 10 innings. If Arizona State wins, a clean Sun Devil sweep, and they head to Oklahoma City. Stewart down to third. That's off the dirt, and a good play by Shep to stick with it and get the out. Katie Stewart, an RBI double to walk, and now 1 out of 3.
Well, and it seemed like Emily Shep was a little bit closer to that third baseline, trying to guard it after that Katie Stewart double that was down the line. Perfectly positioned, as many of these ASU defenders have been.
Vivi Martinez, then Reese Atwood, 3 and 4 for Texas. Martinez hit by a pitch before Atwood's game-tying single in the 5th. It's funny the way this game has turned. Megan Bartlett figured we'll start Mika Lupi. If we don't win today, might have a fresher Kenzie Brown for tomorrow, and Texas will have started potentially, she didn't know at the time, potentially started Tegan Kavan twice. And now you're looking at a scenario where we may get to tomorrow. Again, Texas has to win. We might get to tomorrow, and Tegan Kavan would be more well-rested than Kenzie Brown. Brown, if she completes this inning, will have 10 innings. Kavan taken out after 2+. Obviously not effective today, but would have only thrown 7 total innings. To the left side and through. Martinez not satisfied with a 1-run lead. Reaches base for a second time and brings up Atwood.
Well, Texas is finding themselves in more hitters counts in this relief outing against Kenzie Brown. Remember last night when she was pitching against them, 58% of the time they swung at the first pitch. Their season average is about 24%. Got themselves out a lot.
Mike White said they dictated the pitches last night. We weren't hitting pitches that we're good at hitting. Here's Atwood. Nice catch by one of the many fans in burnt orange here. Game 1 for Texas, 4 for 25. The 5th through 7th innings tonight, they have more hits than the entirety of Game 1. You tack on the first 4 innings of tonight, they only had 2 hits. So 6 hits in 11 innings. 5 hits in 2 1/3. For whatever reason, once again, Texas is just in a 12-inning coma or 11 innings, and then wakes up with power in the 5th and 6th with their season on the brink.
Well, we knew this would be a good matchup, too, because Kenzie Brown in the month of May, when Arizona State has been on this run, has been locked down in the late innings, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Coming into this Super Regional, she had not given up an earned run in those innings. So when Arizona State got the lead, Kenzie Brown shut down hitters. Texas has turned the table on her tonight with these runs.
2 strikes on Atwood. She chases, and Brown picks up the K. 4 strikeouts for Kenzie in relief, and 2 down in the 7th.
Getting one of these chases on her rise ball well out of the strike zone. Never even really starts as a strike. Gets underneath that for the 2-strike chase by Atwood.
Remember, Arizona State will have 9, 1, and 2 in the bottom of the 7th. The way that Super Regionals are formatted, the top seed, the host, does not get to be the home team all 3 games. Arizona State, though the game is in Texas, is the home team here. They will have a chance to walk it off. Leanne Good now 0 for 5 with a walk in this Super Regional. And Good takes one for strike 2 down the middle.
And we've talked about in this postseason how important it was going to be with offenses generating so many runs, how important it was going to be the home team and have the final say. Offenses have been striking like crazy, using every out at their disposal.
Right down the middle again. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Brown with a scoreless top. Ho Ching, Wendell, and Pond. Swan lurking is the 4th hitter. Potentially, Arizona State needs 2 to win. It's time for tonight's Capital One rewarding performance. A go-ahead pinch hit 2-run homer. The 2 outs in the 6th from Victoria Hunter.
Definitely one of the swings, one of the moments of the 2026 Super Regionals. A pinch hit home run to give Texas a lead. Vic Hunter, an incredible moment for her. And you know what? She was ready for that moment. Took the first 2 pitches for balls, got herself into a 2-0 count. She knew exactly what she wanted to do in front of this home crowd.
Her Longhorns are 3 outs away from forcing Game 3 tomorrow. Arizona State needs 1 to send it to extras, 2 to win. The Sun Devils trying to get to the World Series for the 13th time. They're going to have 9-1-2 due up here against Citlali Gutierrez, Tiare Ho Ching, Tanya Wendell, and Kaylee Pond. And their big hitter, who homered in the 5th, Sam Swan, will bat if Arizona State can get and maintain a base runner. So here we go. The unseeded Sun Devils with a 9-hitter. Ho Ching takes one very, very close. That's called ball 1 by Matt Dial. Ho Ching is 0 for 2 tonight. Entered on a team-high 6-game hit streak. 6 for 12, 2 home runs in the tournament. Gutierrez goes right back there, and this time gets the call. Similar spot, different results.
The toughest 3 outs to get are always here in the 7th inning. When you have a lead, and ASU is not going to make it easy on Gutierrez.
Citlali Gutierrez pitched here at McCombs Field in the postseason her last 2 years in high school with Stanford High School, won a state title as a junior. That makes this her 6th straight year pitching in a postseason game at McCombs Field. And she did not pitch well to start the regionals, removed after just 2 innings against Wagner. Ground ball up the middle. The shortstop Martinez with a good stag and a perfect throw. Vivi Martinez, who could not play due to a knee injury last year, secures An extremely important out to start the 7th.
And to say it's good to have her back is probably the understatement of the year. She did not play last year because of her knee injury. Was not on the field in that national championship run. Should have been, but she was in the dugout. But she can make plays like this, and her left-handed swing is beautiful at the plate.
One away for Wendell at the top of the card. First pitch swinging and strike one. A little extra oomph and a little extra bite from Gutierrez. The third-year Sun Devil from Peoria. Wendell takes outside ball one. 8 homers in her first 3 college seasons. The first of that was at Utah Tech. 8 home runs this year alone. Into the game, just a shade under 400. Swing and a miss. Gutierrez goes down and in again.
I think it's been easy to forget this weekend, but ASU is a home run hitting team. But not if they're chasing that drop ball like Sitlali's throwing it tonight.
1-2. Flipped into right center field. Maloney's in the gap. Maloney makes the catch. And Texas is 1 out away from forcing game 3. It feels eerily similar to game 2 against Texas A&M 2 years ago. That was a 1 against a 16. This is a 2 against an unseeded team that beat A&M. But maybe remind you, in that game 2, A&M tied it with a 2-out 7th inning homer. That was by Maya Perez, a freshman. And here is Kaylee Pond, a 6th-year senior. Pond has a base hit today. Having an all Big 12 season. Had the game-tying hit in the regional win over A&M in the 7th. And Pond is in the driver's seat on 2-0. If she reaches the series-winning run, is Samantha Swan, who homered in her last at-bat. Strike from Gutierrez gets her back into the count at 2-1. 60 brilliant pitches in relief from Sitlali Gutierrez. Her 61st. Grounded to second and good. We will see you tomorrow for game 3 as Texas fights back again in the Super Regionals. Their 9th win when facing elimination. They cannot be disposed of in this round, in this stadium. Back from the dead, Texas has risen again to force a do-or-die game tomorrow with nothing on the line but everything.
And Sitlali Gutierrez was the energy shifter for this crowd, for her teammates, the defense, the hitters at the plate, and of course, Vic Hunter's swing will never be forgotten by these fans and by Coach White. But Sitlali Gutierrez, have yourself a night. The All-American and Tegan Kavan just didn't have it, and she had her back in the circle.
3 game 3s tomorrow, Oklahoma and Mississippi State, Florida and Texas Tech, and we can announce 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 local on ESPN. The Sun Devils and Longhorns will try to close out what has the makings of one of those classic, unforgettable Super Regionals. Just another night in the Lone Star State. Texas, a 4-3 win. We'll see you tomorrow for game 3.